Fundamental mathematical operations. To begin with, let's take a very simple thing, which is negative of a vector. So if I have a vector, let's say F1 as a force, the negate will be minus F1. So what exactly changed? The magnitude remained the same. The only thing changed is the direction. Okay. So if I have to show it in a XY coordinate system, let's say F1 was like this. So F2 is exactly F1 minus F1 is like this. Okay. I can move the origin and all those things. Okay, so that is negative of a vector. So magnitude remains same, direction exactly the opposite. Next, multiplication of a vector with a scalar. Very easy example. For example, F is equal to mass into acceleration. I told you acceleration and force both are vectors. So this mass is nothing but a scalar. What happens? It just adds to the magnitude. It will not make any changes to the direction. So if I have a mass of 5 kgs and the acceleration of 5 meter per second square, so this becomes 25 kg meter per second square, which is equal to 25 Newton. Make sense? Okay, so here I'm just saying in place of 5 kgs, if I use a 20 kg, then it will be a 100 Newton force. That's the only difference it makes. So it simply kinds of multiplies. There is no special thing here. Okay. Now, the third thing which I already talked about is the resolution of vectors, but actually it's part of the mathematical operations. So basically it's if you talk about what exactly it is a process of breaking a single vector into components that are directed towards standard Cartesian coordinates or standard polar coordinates. Okay, so that is one thing that we need to understand. It is actually kind of breaking it into simple components so that when we have some kind of a problem to work on, if I have to only work on X direction, I can break that component, what is the magnitude in the X direction, and solve the problem. I need not bother about what's there in Y and Z direction. So that is the main purpose of resolution of vectors. Now, next thing before that, let me. So these three are done, which is addition of vectors. Now, interesting thing will happen. How to actually do addition of vectors? Let's say I have a vector here, F1, and another vector here, F2. So if I want to find out the total value, there are two ways to do it. One is you can simply put the origin both in at same origin. Let's say this is F2, this is F1, and you draw a parallelogram. So the diagonal actually gives you the magnitude. So this becomes F net, which is equal to F1 vector plus F2 vector. Okay, got it? Another way is you can simply put this F1 vector. After that, the head becomes the origin of the other vector, which is F2. And you can join this F1 plus F2. So this is F1 plus F2 vector. Okay, got it? What if the direction was opposite and all? We'll look into it because we'll talk about the next thing is subtraction of vectors. How do we do it? Let's say I have been given exactly these two vectors, F1 and F2. But rather than summing it up, I want f1 minus f2. So what I need to do? So f1 and f2. So make it work like exactly like how we did the displacement vector, right? With two position vectors. So if you say I have to subtract f1 minus f2, so I have to go from f2 to f1, which is like this. So this is the f1 minus f2 vector. Okay. Another way is to use exactly like this method where f1 is there, which is f1. Rather than f2 going this direction, I will draw something here which is f2 in opposite direction. So this becomes minus f2. Okay. And this vector becomes my f1 minus f2 vector. If you look into this, these two vectors are almost like, okay, not in proportion, but both are in same direction. Both have almost equal magnitude. So that is how you subtract the vectors. And when you subtract and add, make sure which one you are following. Okay, either you are using a parallelogram or you are using a triangle. Otherwise 99% you will actually make a mistake. Okay, and score a 0 for a 1 mark question in boards or anywhere. Okay, so that is addition and subtraction of vectors. And don't worry, right now we'll have a lot of problems which you can solve and you will get expertise in this area.